I'm remembering the days, for I went away, way back in the hills of old Vermont. And the orchard on the hill, I think I see it still, way back in the hills of old Vermont. Oh, tonight I long to be where the catamount run free, and the rattlesnake can lie out in the sun. They're the voices of the loons when the apple blossoms bloom, way back in the hills of old Vermont. There used to be a barn near the old fishing pond, way back in the hills of old Vermont. So many fields of hay now gone with yesterday, way back in the hills of old Vermont. For tonight I long to be where the catamount run free, and the rattlesnake can lie out in the sun. Near the voices of the loons when the apple blossoms bloom, way back in the hills of old Vermont. Well, everything has changed, nothing stays the same, way back in the hills of old Vermont. Like the old brown panthers roar, you won't hear that no more, way back in the hills of old Vermont. Tonight I long to be where the catamount run free, and the rattlesnake can lie out in the sun. Near the voices of the loons when the apple blossoms bloom, way back in the hills of old Vermont. But when the rains came down and flooded many towns, way back in the hills of old Vermont, all the neighbors lent a hand for the loving of the land, way back in the hills of old Vermont. For tonight I long to be where the catamount run free, the rattlesnake can lie out in the sun. Near the voices of the loons when the apple blossoms bloom, way back in the hills of old Vermont. Well, how you doing? This is Rik Palieri here, doing another program of songs and stories for hard-hitting times. And it's always great to be here with you folks and to share a little bit of stories and some songs. And I thought today I'm going to do something a little bit different today. So I'm going to save that. But right now I think I'm going to pick up my banjo. You see, I went over, one of the cool things is that Jake's the guitar doctor, the instrument doctor over near Rochester, Vermont. He fixed up a lot of my instruments that you know, as you can see, this Gretsch here, that I had some humidity issues and it was just buzzing like crazy. And Jake was able to get it to play again, so I was really excited about that, so that I could play this guitar, because it's a lot of fun to play this guitar here. As you can see, it's another big guitar, and you know, he went and he adjusted my banjo a little bit, and so we have all kinds of different sounds that we can fool around with. So let's see, let's play something on the banjo. I don't know what I'm going to play yet, but doesn't that sound good? That's Jake Wildwood. He was able to get this thing back to working. me. There's a big hollow tree where you sat down a gallon or two. Well, the buzzards in the sky get so drunk they can't fly on that good old Mountain Dew. Oh, well, they call it that good old Mountain Dew, and I refuse it, I do. Better hush up your mug when you fill up my jug with that good old Mountain Dew. Well, my Auntie June bought some brand new perfume, and it had such a sweet smelling too. Well, to her surprise, when she had it and alive, there was nothing more than that good old Mountain Dew. Oh, they call it that good old Mountain Dew, and I refuse it, I do. Better hush up your mug when you fill up your jug with that good old Mountain Dew. Well, the preacher rode by with his head hish-hashish. My wife's been down with the flu, and he thinks that I ought just to steal him a quart of the good old Mountain Dew. Will they call it the good old Mountain Dew? And I refuse it off you. Better hush up your mug and fill up my jug with a good old Mountain my Uncle Mort, he's sawed off and short, and feels just like a fool. But he feels like a giant when you give him a pint of that good old Mountain Dew. Oh, they call it that good old Mountain Dew, and I refuse it, I do. Better hush up your mug and fill up my jug with a good old Mountain Dew. Well, they call it that good old Mountain Dew, and I refuse it, I do. Better hush up your mug and fill up my jug with a good old Mountain Dew. Woo, woo. Yeah, the good old Mountain Dew. Now, when you flip that banjo, folks, you got to watch out for everything around you, because it can you can end up. Then I'm going to have to go back to Jake's and fix all the instruments in here. Now, like I said, I was just having some fun playing on the 5-string banjo. And one of the reasons that I was doing that was to introduce you to an instrument that probably some of you really never thought of playing. Now, I know, like Al Poindexter, who's over here today, I know that Al plays the 5-string banjo mighty fine and has a wonderful long neck banjo. And probably, Al, I don't know if you've ever played a Waldzither. Now, a Waldzither is a very interesting instrument. Now, I was able to get this one back here from Jake. He was able to fix it up. So this, folks, is a Waldzither. Now, you say, Rick, now, that just looks like a mandolin, doesn't it? It looks like, it's not, though. It's not a mandolin at all, because this instrument is more like a 5-string banjo than it is like a mandolin. It's tuned in open C, and instead of like a banjo having that high string over there, it has a low string. But if you can play the 5-string banjo, all the fingering is just the same as a Waldzither. Now, the Waldzither came, you know, from it's an old instrument in Germany. And Wald means the woods. So it's in Turin, kind of northern part of Germany, and that's where I would do a lot of my tours. And I kept hearing about the Waldzither, and it was sort of like, you know, this kind of German banjo. So, like I said, it goes back a long, long time, and it kind of died out in the 1900s. And now there's a little bit of a resurgence going on to bring back the Waldzither. And so, you know, like I said, it's like a citron. It's tuned and open, and so it's has a nice, and you can do many things with it. You can just strum it. Let's see, like this old song. See if I can remember it. Dig a donkins in fry, my thoughts freely flower. Dig a donkins in fry, my thoughts give me power. My thoughts will not cater to duke or dictator, no one can deny. Dig a donkins in fry, no one can deny. Dig a donkins in fry. I think as I please, and this gives me pleasure. My conscience decrees this right I must treasure. My thoughts will not cater to duke or dictator, no one can deny. Dig a donkins and fly, no one can deny. Dig a donkins and fly. And should tyrants take me and throw me in prison, my thoughts will burst free like blossoms in season. Foundations will crumble and structures will tumble and free souls will cry. Dig a donkins and fly, and free souls will cry. Dig a donkins and fly. Now that was a song that goes all the way back to the peasant wars in Germany, I think. Now, you know, Pete has it in his book. You know, this old book. Now I'm not a high-tech guy, so I still have songbooks. So this is the Bells of Rumney, other songs and stories from the singing of Pete Seeger. And what he says about it, and I think I'm going to read it, says, I'll try to read it like Pete and say, 500 years ago, this song was first made up, back in the days of the peasant wars of Germany. It re-emerged every century when times got especially bad. Schiller had put it in one of his plays. The students sang it during the days of Bismarck's Hitler Bandit. And so it was one of those songs that the German people sang. And as we can tell from Germany, that the kind of thing that happens over there happened in World War II. And we're talking about, you know, this is like Victory Day is just passed. I was asked to do a little video for my friends, actually friends from over in Russia, from the Russian Cultural Council that sponsored a lot of my tours in Scotland. And they wanted to spread that idea of how allies, it took everyone to beat Hitler. It wasn't just, you know, Great Britain. It wasn't just, you know, United States. It was people, you know, even the Polish, you know, the Polish soldiers who were exiled out of Poland. They fought in the over in Scotland in their air force, and they fought against Hitler. In fact, they had this bear, Wojtek, this bear. They found this bear out in the woods, and the bear became a mascot of this the Polish army, and they taught the bear how to load ammunition. So the bear would be out there on the field and helping the troops. And he did that all through the war until they brought him into the Glasgow Zoo. And the first time that I went over to Glasgow, one of the the old Polish men that I visited, he had me put on his old uniform from World War II, and told me all these stories. You know, that's what it is. You know, a lot of the people who fought the war, they I guess, you know, they didn't have to brag about what they did. They did the right thing. They had to do something. We had to stop. We had to stop Hitler. You know, my own family in Poland um, suffered a lot because of, you know, of the Nazis. The Nazis came and they took my grandfather. They took all the men in the village of Smolensk, and at first they put him in. They put him over in to be slave laborers. They were working in farms, and my grandfather, John Wojtyła, John got hurt in a farming accident, and he was no use anymore. He couldn't work, so they put him in some sort of a concentration camp. I can remember when I was a young boy, I really didn't understand a lot of, well, he only spoke Polish for one thing, so I couldn't understand why he hid in the hallway. He hid in the hallway, and he never took off his shirt. He never wanted me to see that tattoo that was on his arm. And there was another song. I think I'm just going to sing this unaccompanied. And think about, now I know that a lot of the folks here, you had relatives too, that suffered under Hitler and the Nazis. And maybe some of your family also were in these different camps. And this is one of those songs that was, they sang in Germany. I think it's called the Peat Bog Soldiers, and I'm going to see if I can sing it. You know, once again, it seems like I'm always singing these songs that are hard emotionally to sing, but sometimes these songs need to be heard. Mm-hmm. Far and wide as the eye can wander, heath and bog are everywhere. Not a soul sings out to cheer us. Oaks are standing gaunt and bare. We are the peat bog soldiers, marching with our spades to the bog. Up and down the guards are pacing. No one can get through. Flight would mean a sure death facing. Guns and barbed wire greet our view. We are the peat bog soldiers, marching with our spades to the bog. But for us there is no complaining. Summer will in time be past. Someday we will sing rejoicing. Homeland dear, you're mine at last. And then the peat bog soldiers will march no more with their spades to the bog. And then the peat bog soldiers will march no more with their spades to the bog. So that was a song that was sung by some of the people who were inside of those camps. And The good thing, of course, is that we were able to stop the horror. We were able to work together. And sometimes that's what we have to do. We have to put aside everything. You know, that's what they call it. Sometimes they call it the greatest generation, is because a lot of those people, they knew how to make that sacrifice so that all of us would be free of this madman who was running around. And you think about today, in today's world, where we're fighting an equally difficult battle with an enemy we can't even see, the virus. And we're asking people to simply get a vaccine. Get a vaccine. Let's all be safe. Not just for ourselves, but for all the ones that we care about, all the ones that we love. And yesterday I was able to join with my friends for the first time in a long time. We had a little jam over at our house because all of us were vaccinated, and we're trying to do that right thing. But I want to not end on such a dismal note, but I felt it was important. I think it was because of that, you know, asked to do this video, and they wanted me to represent the allies of the United States, because of, you know, they were making this little video over in Great Britain, over in Scotland, in Glasgow. My friends Lev and Julia put it together, and so it was on my mind today, and I started singing that song about the peat bog soldiers, and I said, am I going to sing that song today on this live stream? I said, I don't know if I should or not. Well, I hope that that you got something out of it. But let's talk about this Waldzither, because we were talking about this idea of, if you're a 5-string banjo player, you can finger pick it. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit so that you can actually see my fingers. See, you can finger pick it and play the songs I use. Well, waterbound and I can't get home. Waterbound and I can't get around. Waterbound, can't get home down in North Carolina. Waterbound and I can't get around. Waterbound and I can't get home. Waterbound, can't get home down in North Carolina. Now, you can even, I'm going to bring this up just a tiny bit here. Now, I was experimenting. It's kind of weird, but you can braille it. My own true love. Well met Friday. I just returned from the salt sea, and it's all for the sake of thee. And I could have married a king's daughter fair, and she would marry me, but I forsake her crown of gold. And it's all for the love of thee. Well, if you could have married the king's daughter fair, I'm sure you are to blame, for I am married to a house carpenter, and I think he's a fine young man. If you forsake your house carpenter and go away with me, I'll take you where the grass grows free, on the banks of the sweet Willie. If I forsake my house carpenter and go away with thee, what have you to maintain me on and keep me from slavery? Well, I've 6 ships sailing on the salt sea, a-sailing from dry ground, and 120 jolly young men shall be at thy command. They had not been at sea 2 weeks, I'm sure it were not 3, when this maid began to weep. She wept most bitterly. Do you weep for gold, he said, your house, your land, or store? Do you weep for your house carpenter that you never shall see anymore? I do not weep for gold, she said, my house, my land, or store. I do weep for my pretty little babe that I never shall see anymore. She had not been to sea 3 weeks. No, I'm sure it were not 4, when the ship there sprang a leak, to rise no more. Once around spun our gallant ship, twice around spun she, 3 times round spun our gallant ship, till she sank in the bonny blue sea. The old ballad of the house carpenter. So if you're a 5-string banjo player and you're looking for a different sound than the kind of sound that you're used to, but in a way that you can play it and have it sound like a whole different instrument. A Waldzither is an instrument that you'll really love. Not that easy to find them. You can find them probably on, if you look around on eBay, look for a Waldzither, and you'll have a lot of fun with this instrument and do all kinds of things. Now, I didn't know that you could frill it. I just tried it. It sounds kind of cool. You get that thumping sound with it, you know? You could do all that. Yeah, a Waldzither. Well, this is Rik Palieri right here in the hills of Vermont. I gotta try and eat something before we have some company coming today. Good friends. We're gonna play some music because we're all vaccinated. And you folks out there, if you get vaccinated too, guess what? You can get together with your friends and not worry about it. So until next time around, this is Rik Palieri from the Songs and Stories for Hard-Hitting Times, saying so long. See you next time.